big pressure on a player who performed well last year in Gundogan, who for some reason will go back over it again, but that crazy decision in the Champions League final to play him in this deeper position when he had his best ever goal scoring season. So I think, as Shaka mentioned, you've got Grealish who can bridge the two things. He can be an attacking player, he can be a deeper player, and he can add goals to his game, even more goals, and that will take the pressure off people like Gundogan, and it will give the manager even more options. So yeah, I think I don't think 100 million is great, but I think it's a great signing.
Luis, how highly do you rate Jack Grealish?
A big player, and the guys just mentioned. I mean, he's one of those players who's got the full package. He can control the ball, he can pass players, he's going to score goals, and I think the most important is that creativity he brings up front. He's a player who knows very well how to get into the pockets and break lines. And last year, I think at some point, Manchester City struggled so much to break lines of defense. And this is a player who knows exactly the turns that he does with the body, with the control. Is just fantastic. He knows where the spaces are. He can combine. He can assist players. And he's so versatile. You can play in the middle. You can play in the wide areas. You can play as a false nine. That is a way that Pep Guardiola loves to play players. So I think it's a good add to this team. Yeah, 100 million is a lot. But when you are trying to find the perfect, because they got everything, and you guys mentioned it, they got so many players in so many different positions. But if you had to bring a perfect player for those kind of scenes that Pep Guardiola likes, you know you're going to have to spend, because it's going to be young and get all the spots to play. Skillful, technique, fight with the stamina. So everything, he's got everything. So I think it's a fantastic signing for Pep Guardiola team.
That deal done. Then, Gab. Meanwhile, we were talking yesterday as it was almost an inevitability that Lukaku could be returning to Chelsea. Has that somewhat stalled over the last 24 hours?
Hasn't necessarily stalled. Obviously, there was a big backlash, including from the fans. The ownership group, Stephen Zhang, certainly briefing that, they certainly want to keep Lukaku. I think, the numbers are pretty obvious. And I think Inter's line here is, we value him at a very, very high price. The 130 million euro number has been thrown out there. I think for 130 million, as much as you value Lukaku, he is 28 years old. And I think at that point, especially given the club's financial situation, the question becomes, okay, for that money, you sell, but how do you reinvest it into the team? Because that is what the fans want. I think the fans understand that you have to make sacrifices, but the guy you were going to sacrifice was Achraf Hakimi. At this point, we don't want players to be sold and then you take the money and use it to pay down debt or other things. So we want to see reinvested in the team. And I think that's kind of what has sort of put this on hold a little bit. I think also from Inter's perspective, they've been clear. They've said, we value him at this number. You offered considerably less than that. So let's sit back and let's see if you reach our valuation. Remember, too, Lukaku is not aching to get out of the club. He's very happy in Milan. He's made it very clear that he's very happy in Milan, and he's happy to stay in Milan. So, without the club, but without the player pushing for a move, I think at this stage it really would have to be Chelsea meeting Inter's valuation or coming close to it, or putting some package together that works for Inter, and at the same time, Inter lining up replacements that will maybe not satisfy the fans, but at least will stop them from, coming around with pitchforks and torches around the San Siro.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.